And you were on.
Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. We are here today with Brandy from Nation's Finest. Thank you for joining us
Well,
today.
thank you for having me.
This is so exciting. You guys have a lot going on.
We do.
Let's talk a little bit about what your program does, and then we'll get more into what you have going on.
Alrighty. So, Nation's Finest has been in Mojave County since 2013. We are a corporation. We started out in California with Vietnam veterans wanting to help Vietnam veterans with, the housing and all the barriers that they've gone through. And we get a grant from the VA. It's called the Supportive Services for Veterans Families Grant that allows us to use the funding to help veterans to get off the street, get over their barriers, and get them housed, because we are a housing first program.
Very cool.
And we serve in Mojave County. We serve all of Mojave County, and then we serve Laughlin, and sometimes we serve Needles if a veteran is in Needles.
Very cool. How long have you been in this industry, and how did you kind of become part of it?
I have been working with Nation's Finest for 7 years. I came into this program because I wanted to help veterans. And with my husband being a veteran, my father-in-law being a veteran, and my grandfather being a veteran, I just wanted to give back.
Yeah.
So that's how I started doing this.
I'm sure that with all them being veterans, you really saw the struggle. It's a little more challenging than we might think for veterans to get housing and to get health insurance and to get things that they need to survive, really.
Yeah, it is, because it's a pride thing. A lot of veterans are very prideful when they join the military and they get out of the military and they know that they survived a lot more than what person has done. And so when they get out, they're like, I can do it. And they're not going to ask for help. Then they end up some of them end up homeless. And that's where we step in. So we are able to get them housed, work on their barriers. I'm the healthcare navigator, so I help them with getting their medical taken care of, getting their registered with the VA, registered with Access, anything that has to do with medical. I've worked with Arizona Long-Term Care, getting a veteran into a nursing home and stuff like that. So,
which is good. Do you find that a lot of our veterans end up on the street just because they're not willing to ask for help or just don't know where to start, really?
They all have different stories. I've had a veteran who bought a house rented a house on Craigslist, got here, and it was false. The house was completely trashed and he couldn't live in it. So then him and his family ended up homeless. And I've had a veteran who got divorced or a mental health crisis. And I've had a 20-year veteran come into our program after 20 years of being homeless and say, I want help. And getting him housed and getting him in a program that will make him stable for the rest of his life is how we do what we do.
20 years of being on the streets.
20 years on the streets. Mm-hmm. And it took a long time to talk him into doing the housing, but he finally did it. And we work with the local VAs in Kingman, Laughlin. We help. There's a VASH program that we get some of the veterans that are qualified for. And we are an income-based program. So we go whatever Mojave County's area medium income is, that's what we go off of to get these veterans enrolled in our program.
Are you guys able to find housing pretty easily, or is that challenging a lot of the time?
It's a little bit challenging because of the rental costs going up.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle. And then you've got people coming back to their houses and not renewing leases for people, and then the veterans get homeless again, and then we have to. And sometimes it's not just the veterans; it's veterans and their families.
Yeah.
You got families that have young children, and we're able to get them into a hotel, and it's a case-by-case basis, but still, it's detrimental to their families.
I can't even imagine. You often, I was telling you earlier that before I started this show and really started doing a lot of interviews about veterans, I had this fantasy idea, right? Like, they come out, they get insurance, they get housing, they get new cars. This is, these are people who have fought for our United States of America. I mean, put their lives on the line, and it's like this fantasy that those things happen. But the truth of the matter is it just doesn't happen that way.
No, because a lot of the veterans, when they leave the military, they're not informed. So they are left to get out, go get jobs, and a lot of them go from being in the Marine Corps and just angry when they get out to go get a job, and they're angry in their job, then
Losing jobs.
losing
trying to
job
figure out-
and losing housing, and it trickles down. So it's
Yeah.
misinformation when they do get out of the military that doesn't they don't get all the resources. And now we're noticing that, well, I've noticed since I've worked here that resources are getting more out into the community than there were 7 years ago.
That's good.
So
What you guys are doing is working then.
yeah, and we wouldn't be able to do our job if it wasn't for you and like who else was it? Like the fire department who helped one of our veterans
Wanna
with
talk about that a little bit.
we had a veteran who was homeless. We got him in housing, and he needed some furniture, and the fire department in Bullhead helped us get some furniture for him. And so it takes a community to help these veterans get off the street, get over their barriers, and then some sometimes.
Yeah. I think, I always talk about our community really showing up for each other. And I think, the fire department, I mean, we often forget the extremes that they go to in their jobs, but also we're able to help. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
And it's good to connect with all. We work with the Tri-State Military Moms. We work with the Vet Center. We work with anybody and everybody just to make sure these veterans can get their barriers overcome. And they get the information out there so they know that there's more than just housing. It's not just housing. It's case management. It's healthcare navigation. It's resources. It's the community. It's everything.
Well, and the important part of that is we have learned on this show as well that 22 veterans a day usually succumb to suicide. So these programs save lives.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, they save lives, and I've come into situations where I've had to intervene, and it's I would do it any day, all day, if I could. And it's getting the information out there, letting them know that they aren't alone.
Yeah.
So, like, I was at the National Night Out last night, and I was giving out gun locks. And the history, the story behind gun locks, when you give somebody a gun lock, they lock their gun, and by the time they're having those thoughts, by the time they unlock the gun, they've thought about, and it stops.
Gives them a moment.
It gives them a moment to pause. So there are resources out there. The Veterans Crisis Line, 988, veterans can call and get the help and talk to somebody.
Yeah. Make the phone call.
Yeah, make the phone call.
You probably spend a lot of time on the phones.
Yes.
Yeah. That's also what I've learned.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, we have Game of Thrones first or the car show?
Yeah.
The same day.
They're both the same day.
Jeff, will you pull up the flyer that we have for the Game of Thrones and the car show? So let's talk a little bit about this.
Okay, so Saturday we're having our annual fundraiser. All the money that is raised for this event is going to the homeless veterans in Mojave County. And we are having a cornhole tournament that has prizes, and it's a cash prize, but we also are giving away a customized cornhole board.
Fun.
Yeah. But we do have music. DJ Loki's going to be there.
Oh, she's the best.
We're going to have lots of raffle items. We've had companies in the community donate raffle items to be able to raffle them off. And we've got stuff from Mattress Land. We've got stuff from Serenity Home and Hospice, Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a lot more.
Good. The
So-
community showed up.
Yep.
So, and then the next one, Jeff, which is the car show. So it is this Saturday,
Yep.
October 7th from 10 to 5 at Rotary Park, 2315 Balboa Drive. If you would like to enter into the car show, it's $25 to enter, which is
And if you-
absolutely doable.
Want to be a vendor, it also is $25 to be a vendor. And then we wouldn't be able to do it without the sponsors of Family Care, Dot Foods, Barron Services, Diamond Auto Sales, and TWN. They are amazing, and we have smaller sponsors that has sponsored our organization in many ways. So without the community, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing.
Very good. So make sure you guys show up if you have nothing to do. There is a lot going on this weekend, actually.
And kids play free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so they can do the cornhole.
There is an
as
event,
well?
and the winners get medallions and prizes and stuff like that. So it's
Very
going to be
cool.
fun.
Yeah, the weather should be nice if the W stops.
Yes, the wind needs to stop.
We don't have any time for you, okay? When you're driving
Right?
our allergies crazy. Well, that is exciting. So again, you have the car show and you have the cornhole tournament going on this Saturday at Rotary Park. We
Yep.
all know where that is.
Yeah.
Take the kids out, take your veterans out, have a good time. It's a great time to take grandparents out too.
Yep.
Just really to enjoy the outside. It's that time of year where we can
And we
actually all
have
get out.
a lot of veteran vendors coming. So the Vet Center's going to be there, Band of Brothers, Tri-State Military Moms, just to
Nice.
have some resources out there and just to see what is out there for them. So we encourage everybody to come out, whether you're a veteran or not, to come out and support the veterans in the area, because all this money will help them in the future. It can help them get furniture. It can help them other sources. So a lot of the some of the donations we do, because we aren't income based, a lot of our donations we can use for veterans who have a need that are over income for our program. So we had the Bullhead Police Department call us for a veteran who was being evicted for their weeds.
Oh.
So our donation money went to pay for a landscaping company to pull the weeds so he didn't get evicted. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Things
it
you don't even think about.
yeah, things you don't think about. But he was a 96-year-old veteran, and we're just like, no, we're not going to get him evicted.
Aw.
So yeah, we try to help as much as we can, and we are located at 1343 Hancock Road in Bullhead City, and our main number is 928-444-1135. If you have a veteran that is in need of housing and they are late on rent and they threatened to be evicted, just give us a call. Or if you find somebody that's on the streets, give them our number, and we can reach out to them and see if they want to engage in services. But yeah, I want everybody to come out to the cornhole tournament.
Yes, that would be great. Well, and I think it's probably a great time. Sometimes as family members, you get in situations with veterans who maybe aren't so willing for help, but I'm going to assume it's a great place to start to make that call to you, even as a family member, to kind of figure out what the program looks like and
Correct.
how you can help, and maybe then encourage the veteran, to kind of go that way, or at least have the information
Right. And
to talk about it.
yeah, and we have resources. If somebody comes in, they want to apply for VA healthcare, we'll give them the application. We'll send it off for them. If they're looking for their DD 214, we will help them apply for it and get it and stuff like that. So we're there for the veteran. So anything the veteran needs, any questions they have, they can always come and see us.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to the show today. I hope that you guys find this information useful, and definitely show up this weekend. Again, it's October 7th, 10 to 5 at Rotary Park. Cornhole, car show, DJ, raffles, food. Sounds like a great, if you know anything about that park, there's tons of areas for the kids
Oh,
to
yeah.
play, so you can make it a family day.
Exactly.
Yes. All
Well,
right.
thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Thanks for showing up for the community. We appreciate you. All right, guys. Shop local, support local, and have a good day.